Welcome to Amazing Indiana Music Stories.
We had a singing group called the Cheatham Kids, and we would go around singing in churches. We sung for WTLC when they had their building on 34th and Capitol. It's a filler station now, but it used to be maybe a two-story brick building. We used to go in and go live on WTLC, and we just traveled around small churches, big churches around the area singing gospel.
And was gospel music your main music that you sang?
Starting out as children, so my siblings, we had a pretty nice harmony being siblings. So I led a lot of the songs, and I had two brothers and two sisters, including myself. So we went around and sung traditional gospel hymns.
Were your parents musical?
Yes, my mother was a singer, and my father was a singer, and he played the piano, and he was a hoofer. He was a tap dancer. So, and we had a piano in our home growing up, so we were always playing or singing, putting on a show.
So from an early age, is that what you wanted to pursue?
Yes. Yes. After watching The Wizard of Oz with Judy Garland singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow, I was pretty well hooked on theatrics.
So you mentioned Judy Garland. Who are some of your other influences?
Ella Fitzgerald, right now in my life. I had a childhood friend, Linda Bush, whose mother, Aretha Lamar, was a jazz singer. And growing up, hanging out at Linda's house, I would see Aretha go off to play with Jimmy Cole's big band, and she was so elegant and beautiful. I was like, where is she going? She would come down the stairs in her fur and chiffon dresses, and I was like, yeah, what we're doing is cool, but where is she going? I want to do that. So she's been my inspiration personally. And like I said, I love Ella Fitzgerald, Nancy Wilson, Shirley Horn, for her phrasing. And I'm just, excited to be doing what I enjoy doing.
Wonderful. Do you remember the first music that you heard? Was that the gospel music at church, or do you remember like your first concert or anything now?
The first song, the first song our family sung was "There'll Be a Brighter Day Ahead." And like I said, we were a choir, so we had Brother Footman was our piano player and choir director. He did it all. And we sung "A Brighter Day Ahead." There'll be a brighter day ahead. And my siblings, ooh. So it's sort of like, doo-wop, but those are the songs that we sung when we went out and around.
Wonderful. And then you transitioned to jazz. When did that happen, and what was...
Well, after high school, I'm a Rocket, class of 74. After high school, and as I got older, I was doing R&B and disco. And as I got older and started traveling, it was sort of difficult to stay current with the trend of music that kept changing. So I jumped into jazz because I've always sort of had a love for rudiments, and the things that jazz brings to the table vocally. So, it was easy for me to walk in anywhere and tell them to play My Funny Valentine in E flat without having to go into rehearsal to stay hip and to stay current, with the trend of music that was happening at the time. So that was a business move.
A business move to do jazz, okay.
Yeah, I could work easily.
Did you ever play any instruments?
I play the piano, but basically for myself and songs that I was doing. But I leave the piano playing truly to the experts.
Wonderful. Did you have any formal training, or is it natural?
As a child, we had, piano teachers that taught us the fundamentals, And as I got older, like I said, I sort of started playing my own thing. I can do a few tunes, but my forte is vocal. So I like to stick with that.
Did you sing at clubs in Indianapolis? Do you remember any specific experiences?
Oh, well, I do the chatterbox a lot, and it wasn't easy breaking into that club, but I did after pursuing it a lot. And I do the Jazz Kitchen often, Ella Fitzgerald's tributes, and the Indie Jazz Fest. I've been blessed to have done that, I think, for going on the 4th year consecutively, so yeah.
People often think of Indiana Avenue jazz scene. Were you involved with that at all?
That was a little bit before my time.
Yeah.
And like I said, after high school, I started traveling. I went to Europe for a bit, I guess in '89, and started recording over there doing jazz, So I really didn't get into the Indiana Avenue, but I am associated with those who were associated with the Avenue, Steve Weekley, and all those folks, Clifford Ratliff, Bill Myers, so that was my opening. And growing up listening to my idol, Aretta, and Jimmy Cole's big band, so I got a taste of that.
How did the opportunity arise to travel to Europe? How did that come about?
Oh, well, my first husband was in the military, so I got a chance to go to the East Coast in Philly, and from there, being on the East Coast, I had a chance to go up and down, New York-wise, just visiting, getting a taste of the atmosphere. But then I went during the Gulf War is what really took me over to Europe, and how that war was going on. I had a chance to get with the Thomas Fink Trio, which is a German jazz group, and do some touring and some recordings. We did about 5 CDs during that span.
And what kind of music did you play with that group?
We did jazz.
Jazz. Was it like standards, or was it?
Standards and some originals, but mostly we were standard.
Do you write music?
Yes, I do.
Tell us about that.
I have tunes on my CD, Sandy from the Jazz Age is the name of the CD. And one of the songs on there is Sandy's Blues. And I love the lyrics. I get so bluesy when I'm all alone. The band has gone, but the music lingers on inside my head as I sit in the midst of it all. In my solitude, try to shake this mood I'm in. Never knew success would make me sing the blues. So that's one of my lyrics that I'm proud of in that tune.
Wonderful. And you're kind of known for scatting. Can you tell us how that came about and what you like about that?
Yes, there's just something about it that attracted me. And as a child, I used to have a sheet of paper on my wall that had Ella's scatting runs on it, bop a doo doo doo, and what she was doing, and I put my breaks in, and then whatever else she continued to sing in her scat. So I would practice that, and then sometimes it sound corny when I did it, does that sound right? So I really, truly enjoyed doing Ella and doing her arrangements, which meant I had to dedicate myself in trying to do her runs. So after doing that for years and years, I never knew that coming back to Indiana that I would have a chance to do Ella, who I've been rehearsing what seemed like a lifetime to get that scatting down. And now doing songs that Ella might not have done that I'm doing, I still utilized her scatting skills, and so that I could, get used to my tongue being loose enough to do what Ella did, or at least, what I felt like she was doing, an interpretation. Never will be as great as Ella, nobody will be, but I enjoyed, doing my version of scatting. I even had a thing called the scat train, where I would teach my German students scatting and how to kind of stay connected to the mother train, how you're sort of following the root of the song through the verses and the bridge, and then kind of removing yourself from that so that you can lay the scat line down on it so that you can repeat the same scat line whenever you do the song. So it's not just random scatting, it's thought out scatting. And that's what I try to teach when I do have students that come to me to try to learn scatting or my method of singing.
So you do have students now. I didn't realize that you taught others. I'm interested in that.
Yeah, I had more at one time, but COVID really put a damper on that. So at the moment I don't, but I really truly miss not having students because I really like sharing some of the secrets that I had to figure out myself in show business, singing show business.
Wonderful. So you talked about traveling to Europe. Did you travel anywhere else to sing?
West Coast, like I said, New York. I did almost all of Europe. I got a chance to play in Russia. Prague was a prominent place that I worked at often, crossing over from Germany, back and forth with my German group, and going back over for touring. Like I said, I had a lot of students that would travel from all parts of Europe to wherever we had our workshops. So I really miss doing my students.
You sang with a band or a group called SRB, the Soul Relation Band, is that right?
Yes.
Tell us about that group.
Well, that was during my high school years. Charles T. Woods was our manager. Michael Woods was the band leader. And we toured up and down Indiana, singing funk, like Parliaments, in the local music during that era. And it taught me to be on time, and the business part of being a musician, the ethics that it takes for it to be a business and not just, jamming in the basement in rehearsal. So it really made my work ethic, strong.
Who was in that group with you?
Who wasn't in that group? We had a horn section. We had perhaps maybe two other singers, background singers. We had, the guitar, bass, and a lot of people came through SRB. So a lot of people in Indiana was a part of that group. But Thomas T. Woods was, the main band leader that kept that rolling.
Okay. So you've done music your whole life. Can you talk about your experience as the industry has changed over the years?
Well, being a female singer in a male-dominated profession, usually you would see back in the olden days where they had a singer that sort of sat and waited for her turn to come up and sing her part of the show, and then she goes back in withdraws and sits there or stands there, how the band has fun doing all the solos and carrying on. And that's what I liked about Ella. Ella controlled, you know, the room. She jumped in and played off of the musicians scat-wise, and that's what I would teach my singers, that you don't have to sit on the casting couch and wait to get a gig or wait to, you know, sing. You can start your own band, you know, and you can jump in and have fun like the rest of the musicians, you know, as far as your creativity and what you would like to do on your song. And I stress that for all singers, female or male, you know, to be more aggressive in your role as a musician.
So, okay, tell us a little bit about how you're currently active in the music scene, some of the groups that you play with, where you sing, and tell me if I'm wrong, but do you give tours, or is there a music room downtown that you give tours, or?
That would be the Indiana Historical Society Museum. This is my 5th year working in the Cole Porter Room. And this is a beautiful space, has a lot of Cole Porter pictures, you know, of his history, and there's a TV in there that shows a loop. His Tony Award is in this room in a glass case that he won for Kiss Me Kate. There's a grand piano inside this room, and there's a microphone for the singer that happens to be in that space. And there's a tablet that controls the piano. So there's a song list of Cole Porter tunes sitting on the bar. So when folks come in, I welcome them. Welcome to the Cole Porter Room, you know, and I tell them a little bit about Cole Porter. And there's a song list of Cole Porter tunes sitting on the bar. If you would like to hear a selection, please let me know. I'll be happy to sing them for you. So the guests would pick out a song they would like. I have my tablet that I would put in my pitch and song selection that will start the grand piano to playing, and then I would sing my rendition of the song they requested. And I've been doing that for 5 years. And the time went so fast. So I enjoy doing that. Also, I sing in nursing homes. I was introduced doing that through Greg Bacon, who works in the nursing home, a one-woman act. I go there with my tablet and I entertain the folks from the nursing homes. And I've been doing that for maybe 15 years. And I enjoy that. They get a chance to come out. I do everything from show tunes, a little bit of gospel, R&B, Motown, you know, and they love it. One of my senior citizens came to me and told me, you know, for 1 hour, you took me out of this place. So that touched my heart, and I enjoy doing that. And that's my business, you know, under Sandy Lomax Enterprises. I work around town with the Corn Rukowski project, was the last project I was upon, but now I'm doing Sandy Lomax and Friends. I get a chance to work at the Chatterbox. I work with Brenda Williams, Wendy Reed, Yvonne Aul, you know, doing the divas at the Jazz Kitchen and other private functions that go around town. And all I do now is music and the art. I'm also an art illustrator for children's books. And I have mine right here. If Kamala Can, I Can, which I think is a pretty cool book. This is our 5th book. So I'm doing all things arts. And I enjoy doing it.
Do you do the artwork for the book as well?
My illustration.
What's your medium?
Uh, right now, I did this with a tablet, which is pretty cool, you know. But I do paintings with acrylic, fabric, anything that I think is needed for the piece that I'm working on. So it has different mediums.
Have you ever had other jobs or career paths that didn't involve music?
I'm a cosmetologist. I've been doing hair. You know, I don't anymore, but that was my day job, how I pursued my music career at night. Um, and I think that's about it. Yeah.
What are some of your favorite songs to sing?
Well, we're getting ready to do Ella in April. It's her birthday month at the Jazz Kitchen, and then we're going to be at Carmichael's doing. And I always try to do Ella, because, like I said, I've been studying her arrangements and her scatting trend through her pieces of music. So I really enjoy doing Ella.
Any particular tunes that you enjoy singing?
I love her How High the Moon, you know, the way it starts out slow and then picks up and swings, and her scatting runs through that I love. I had a chance to do Simply Ella, which is a play about Ella Fitzgerald. And I think we did that about 3 times before COVID hit. So that sort of ended that. Sherry Brown Webster was the writer of that piece of theater, and I really enjoyed doing Ella. I love Shirley Horn. You know, she mesmerizes me. You know, and I think that's about it. Shaka Khan and, you know, my R&B days, you know, I can't get away from that, you know. So I always leave the door open to do different genres of music.
When you play or when you sing in the nursing homes, do you get any requests frequently?
Some folks may come up and ask for a tune, but if it's not on my list, my program list, I try to, you know, bring that in the next time I see them. This happens every month. It's sort of the same nursing homes, nursing facilities, you know. So I try to please, and I do hit on songs that folks really like, you know.
What advice would you give to someone who wants to start a career in music?
To practice and to move forward. A lot of people would like to sing but never move towards singing. So it's always good to have a keyboard in your house. Doesn't have to be a big one, a small one, so that you can practice runs, you know, get your repertoire together of material you would like to use in your key. Listen to other entertainers in the field or in the style that you like. Listen to them, practice, you know, no matter what it is, just keep practicing. If you do a song enough times, you'll learn different ways of doing it. You need to be flexible. You need to go out and be seen. If there's a workshop going on, take that workshop. If there's a jam session going on every Monday at the Jazz Kitchen, there's open mic. Get to the open mics, get your material together, go up, be a part, make room for yourself. Everybody has a style, and to find your style means you need to do it often, repetitive, you know, doing a song, and your true self will come through with it. Don't be afraid, you know. Find somebody that's doing what you're doing. Imitate folks until your style develops, and don't be afraid to step out and do it. Like I said, right now, that's all I'm doing are the arts. And I knew when I was a kid that that's what I wanted to do. And no matter what I did to pay my bills, I always had music somewhere close by that I was still practicing and doing. So singing is a practice. You have to keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it until your style develops. And then your style will make room in the industry for you.
When we were talking about your travels earlier, I forgot to ask you about Hawaii. You had a group that you sang with in Hawaii?
Yeah, we were called Pure Energy. And it was a group my brother, Thomas Cheatham, he was in the military, so he was over there. So I was here at home doing the Zodiac Lounge, had a jam session every Wednesday, I believe, and they would have a cash prize. So I would go there every night to do their gong show, is what it was called. And I would come home and give my mother the money. I think it was maybe $100. So then Wednesdays roll around and my mom would wake me up, Sandy, are you going? Are you going? I'm like, yeah, I'm going. So I would leave out, around 8 o'clock. The next morning she'll ask me, how'd you do? And I would hand her the money. So, and she would use it, for food or whatever we needed. So the next Wednesday, she would nudge me, hey, are you going? So this went on for about a year. So when my brother called me from Hawaii, said that he needed a front person to sing in a group he had, I said, Hawaii? And my mother told me, honey, she said, you need to go ahead. She said, if you can keep doing this and winning at the gong show, you can make it. So I was like, what? Mama. She was like, She said, you need to go. So they arranged for me to go to Hawaii. I was there for about a year and a half, playing 6 nights a week at the Marrakesh in Waikiki. So that was fantastic. It was a great experience. I learned to be a front person. Hawaii is the last stop on the tour of other big names. Hal Melvin, the Blue Notes, you name them. The Police was out at that time, Cyndi Lauper, and they would tour America, they would do Europe, and they would always wind up in Hawaii as the end of the tour before they fly back home. So I got a chance to meet different people, how living and singing in Hawaii. So it really, boosted my ego, an educational period for me. So I really enjoyed Hawaii. And after the year, it was time for us to come home. They said, they locked the doors because we were really taken away from the Oriental business that were taking place in Hawaii, because it's a tourism spot. And we was really pulling, some of the musicians from the hotel scenes into the Marrakesh. So someone came in from the business district and she whispered to me, have you gotten your money? And I was like, yeah. She said, all right. She said, because it's getting ready to close, because paperwork had came across her desk that they was going to close the Marrakesh down because we were doing too much. We was having too much fun at the Marrakesh. So after that, I came home, and that ended the Marrakesh. But it was a great learning experience. I had a ball.
Wonderful. Throughout your music career, what are you most proud of?
Coming back home and being recognized for all of my accomplishments that I've done elsewhere around the world, and just being acknowledged. This interview, is a great example. Not worrying about my phone ringing to see if someone is going to call me for work. I'm sustaining myself with my talent. And for that, I'm very, very happy. I was introduced as a living legend a couple of years back, and that surprised me. Really? Living legend? I was like, when did that happen? you know, but I'm very happy to be back home and being acknowledged here in my hometown. I was honored with the Creative Fellowship Award. I think it was 2019, 2020. And this is one of the pictures that's associated with that. Also, here are some clips, some pictures I have of Soul Relations, Mike Woods and myself. And here we are at the Vogue, warming up for the Four Tops. And these will be available. Also, I did in 2021, the Indie Fringe, I did an hour show called A Sentimental Journey with Sandy Lomax at the District Theater, and it was about my life story. And I talk about Lawrence Welks, how my father would pull us up in the kitchen when Lawrence Welks came on, and he taught us how to tap dance, how to do the ball chain and the shuffle off the buffalo and all those cool dances. So all that was in my show called A Sentimental Journey with Sandy Lomax.
I don't have any more specific questions for you, but is there anything that we haven't covered that you'd like to share or tell us?
Not that I can think of. I'm looking at your beautiful facility here and all the work that has taken place already. I'm sure when these folks were performing and doing what they were doing, they had no idea they would wind up in this space. And hopefully one day, 100 years down the road, that I will have a spot somewhere in this room to be remembered.
Wonderful.
And thank you. You're a great interviewer.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for doing this. We
You're
appreciate it a
welcome.
lot.
You're welcome.
It was great
Thank
speaking
you.
with you. Thanks.
Thank you.